Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin. Super excited to introduce you all to Kristina. Thanks so much for being here today.
Hello, I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, I feel like we've known each other now for, I want to say almost a year, right? It's been some time.
Yeah, like what?
So
I don't know what happened. Time has been speeding up like every year that goes by. I don't know what's happening. A year
I
feels like 5 minutes lately.
Yes, I feel the same way. I was actually outside today. This is kind of like a side note. And I was literally thinking that as I'm letting my dog out, I'm like, how is summer almost over? Like,
I know.
this is wild. Time is just flying.
I
It's,
know. Like I should start celebrating Christmas, like decorating for Christmas tonight right now, apparently. We're in June, but July.
I know we're always thinking that too. We're like, this is ridiculous now.
Oh my
Well,
goodness. Someone slow
I'm
it
so
down.
Yes, we need to slow down time. And that's actually like a great segue into our topic today, which we're going to talk about all things business. And for the listeners, just so you all know, Kristina has actually started her business in her early 20s, like myself. So we're going to get a lot
Yes.
of really awesome insight today. Can you start off by telling us just a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. So, hey, I'm Christina. I'm the founder of Designing Gig, which is a creative agency. So we do kind of the full spectrum of anything graphic design, branding, and web design and development. So we'll take, we've worked with startups, with mid-level, mid-market companies as well, up to Fortune 500s, and across many different industries too. We've been around for 17 years now, just celebrated our birthday in February this past year. And I opened the business when I was 24 years old, 17 years ago. I remember I literally hopped out of bed and I was like, what should I name my agency? And then I don't even know if I had options at that point. It was just, nope, Designing Gig, that's going to be the name. Okay, here we go. And then got the LLC like formed, got the name, and here we are. So there was not much thought put into it. I wish I had a better story around. No, I considered 10 different names and I pulled everyone and collected data on what name was going to be the best for my age. Nope, nope, it was none of that. It was just complete like gut instinct.
I love it.
Get
That's like what
started.
we live by, at the end in mind, we're like all gut instinct, all intuition. So we love that. And I feel like I was the same way. I think a lot of young business owners should actually embody more gut instinct. Like today, there's so much noise around creating a business, but when you did this, you were really paving the path, right? For like working from home online. I
Yeah.
remember when we were last talking, we were talking about this. What was that like being one of the first people to really do this?
Oh my gosh. So the whole story is I was working in corporate at a wonderful company. Like I loved all my coworkers, my boss. They gave me so much opportunity, trained me in design, and that's really where I got my start out of college. And I worked there for 3, 4 years. Um, and I just love design and I got my feet wet in like the world of website design and UX, UI. And it was really in the beginning at that page because it was like 2007, right? So if you think back to 2007, literally blogging was like a new thing back then. Like so I studied, I went to UW-Madison. I graduated from UW-Madison in journalism. And I remember like my final project that you need to submit for graduation. Like mine was around blogging and the future of blogging. And I remember that and I'm like, and it was so like primitive in those days. You had your WordPress blog or whatnot, and it was almost like a daily journal. And so things have clearly evolved since then, but it was always online platforms was always a world that I was like, this is really fascinating. And then working at the company that I was working at, it was an accounting firm, a large accounting firm. I was in their marketing department, kind of doing design work, so graphic design of like brochures and also their website. for the particular group that I was working in. But it was kind of one of those things where there's always that fire in you, like, oh, could I be doing more? Like, what could this turn into? And especially I was in my 20s. And so you come out of college and you're dreaming big and you're all excited about a career path. And so I think that's when kind of the spark of entrepreneurship or the bug bit me. Um, my dad has always been a business owner as well. He has his own business. Um, and so it's just always been my grandma as well had her own business. So maybe it could be just a family thing too. But end of the day, I took the leap. I had actually started dating my future husband at that time. So this was around like 2009 at this point. So I had the company, it was in its infancy. I created out of thin air the designing gig name. And then my husband and I, we weren't married yet, right? So we had started dating, and he actually has an MBA. He's Brazilian from São Paulo. And we had met like at this opportune time, right? And we were talking and we decided like let's grow this thing together. And so we are a husband and wife team at Designing Gig, and our team consists of 7, 8 designers, developers, right? That content writers, SEOs like that support our projects and work with us for years now. I'm more on the client facing end and like the design and creative directing end, and he's on the back end like business administration side. So we're a good team. We don't step on each other's toes. But it was a really, really cool experience, and just how the timeline of it all worked out, that we joined forces and were able to grow this business and are together like 17 years later, still working together with an expanded team. And one of the things that really helped out was we were able to grow it in its infancy while traveling and living abroad. So we had decided to live in Brazil for a couple years. And that at the time, this was in 2010 to 2012. At that time, we lived abroad. So lived in Brazil. Cost of living was a little bit lower than cost of living in the United States, right? And so that really helped in terms of the business being in its infancy, and just kind of, stroke of luck, maybe. I don't know, that it all just the timing kind of worked out. So we are able to grow our business, um, that helping things out pretty significantly, right? So grow it from the starting stages into something bigger without having so much overhead or a large amount of costs. We were able to keep it lean and still work with clients in the United States. And I pride myself on that one because if you think back to 2010 and
Yeah.
compare it to today, like 2026, I have to tell you, 2010, we were doing not many things remotely. We weren't doing video calls. Most of the meetings, like when I'd come back to the United States, we travel back to the United States, I would schedule like in-person meetings with our clients, and I would like go there and meet with them, and I would like bring them a gift or something from Brazil or something. Like we needed that physical, like in the same room presence in 2010 still. It was pre-COVID, it was it was start of, website design and development and all of that stuff, and like online presence and online marketing was starting blowing up to be a huge thing. And so putting yourself back in that world, it's like being halfway across the world, and living there, and then trying to maintain that client communication and trust in 2010, when we're not hopping on video calls and we're not doing things digitally as much as we should. I mean, there was email, and that was about it. So living abroad, working remotely, all of those things are normal today.
Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of part of our vision back in the day. We were just living it maybe ahead of time a little bit, so much so that when COVID happened in 2020, everyone literally now is online with meetings, and it's accepted and it's normal to meet for the first time. If you're going to do a business deal, meet your client for the first time through a video call. CEO of a company, do a video call. And that trust is established on that video call. But it
Right.
wasn't so back then. So it was a little bit harder. Really had to build trust with people and connect with people very, very well. And so things have changed, but I think one thing that worked out for us is the remote work element at the end of the day, that had just evolved even more over time. And so that was aligned with our business model and our vision for how we wanted to work, because we are a virtual agency and work remotely, deliver all our work digitally. Right? And so we don't have like, we have a fixed off, we have home offices, right? And when we go to Brazil, we have our home office there so we can stay for some months at a time. But it really has facilitated things that the world has gone remote. Um,
Isn't it funny? Yeah, that's so great though that you felt the pull and that you did this, that early on. Like for the listeners that may be listening and not able to even think about what 2010 was, like Instagram was just launching. I think Facebook had
yeah,
just kind of evolved to their like second stage of evolution, right? Like post MySpace
yeah.
theme, boom. So this was like so taboo to do
I
what you guys
know.
did. And I'm so glad that you did it because you felt this calling for it. Like you said, your gut was trying to tell you something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really rewarding experience and a very crazy ride. And nowadays, we ultimately moved back to the United States in 2013, and we settled here in Denver, Colorado. So we are here most of the year. We also go back for a couple trips in Brazil for a couple months here and there, 2, 3 times a year, and we'll stay there and work remotely from there. So we're, as you know, if you're going to be in the world of entrepreneurship, like you're always online, you're always working. Even if you're not working, you're working because you're thinking about it. Um, you can't just completely disconnect. If you were working, at a company, you have your PTO, you have your vacation hours, and like you can shut off and kind of take your vacation and no one's going to bug you. You don't have that guarantee when you've got 50, 100 clients that are in, different stages of the project and fires happen and things like that. And you've got a team that depends on you as well. And so, unless you're a very, very large agency, sometime in whatever role you play in that agency, like it's very hard to just simply disconnect if you're the owner. So we're not a huge agency, we're a small agency. So even when we're on these trips, like, and people think all the time, oh, you're traveling abroad and you're fishing, which is something we really like to do. It's like, oh, what a life. But like we're connected all the time. We're looking at our email all the time. We're thinking about our business all the time, like, monthly revenue and projects and oh, I'm out of the office and we've got a new lead. Like, how can I, schedule it so I don't lose that opportunity? And um, you never disconnect and you just get used to it over time, that's just something that you really have to be passionate about and like what you do in order to have that level of commitment and drive to when you're away or when you're traveling or when, to still be committed to pushing your business forward. Otherwise, I mean, it's tough to manage, like it's tough to make it grow. And so it's it, it's time consuming. And so one of the things that I like to do is balance it out with hobbies, with travel. Even if I'm going to be connected all the time, at least I'm going to be doing something that I like while I'm connected.
Yeah.
Like that's my thought process,
It's
just to create
important.
that balance.
Yeah, like, and this is kind of what we were chatting about before. I think so many people don't have that in today's society, like as a whole, right? Whether they're a business owner or not. Like, I work in social media. So many people come to me, they're like, I'm addicted to these platforms, right? Like, I literally
Oh,
can't disconnect from them. And I think entrepreneurship is an easy segue in from going from being on social media all of the time to like having my own business. I felt the same way as yourself. I mean, I'm rarely fully disconnected. Like if I
Yeah.
am, it's most of the time because something didn't load properly, like on my phone. And then I get on my laptop and I'm like, oh my gosh,
No.
it's been two
Yeah.
days.
Like your
And it's
signal dropped on your phone or something, and you're not getting messages, and you like to make
yes,
yourself believe that it's because you're not getting messages, but you really are. It's just that you're not connected.
right, right. And you're like, oh my gosh, like it's been 2 days and that feels forever, right? Like two business days. So
Tons.
I'd love to know how, like, at what part of your business did you go through kind of a lull of not having the balance, even though you both decided to move to Brazil? Do you think that that helped you find more balance, like being abroad, or how did this kind of come into play?
Yeah, I mean, for our particular story, which I don't know, if I could, it is kind of a crazy story. But that's just how things panned out for our, business. I had met my husband at that time, and he being Brazilian, and us being young
Yeah.
and stupid, thank goodness. We were like, yeah, let's, now or never. When are we gonna? So we moved to Brazil. His family's from Brazil, but we chose to live in the South in Florianopolis. It was wonderful. Like for me, as American, I was born in Chicago. My parents are immigrants. I just, it was a wonderful experience learning the language, learning the culture, like being, also with his family and everything. And many of them did not speak English. And so I was kind of forced, you're kind of thrown in the fire. And for me, it was another thing like entrepreneurship, you're also just thrown in the fire.
Yeah.
So, similar experience as well, but same, but different. So, it was great. I think that it happened when it happened in the start of everything. It's really eye-opening financially. Also, like I said, it made things easier to manage because our business was in its infancy. So we were able to keep costs way leaner on
Yeah.
the operating side than if we were based here in the United States in its infancy. And so that really helped out. And then as we evolved, and sorry, what was the question again?
Like, where do you feel like you were able to find the balance for the first time? Like, you talk about fishing, and
Right.
did you guys kind of go through? I can imagine if
Yes.
my husband and I were in business together, it would be like all we talked about,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
no medium. I mean, I feel like we already are kind of like that, and he works in corporate, right? So it would be like really bad.
Just business
So I
speak
give
all the
you guys
time.
a lot of credit. Yeah.
No, yeah, thank you. I get that question all the time. Is like, what is it like to work with your husband? Like, do you guys not fight all the time, or like, do you guys are just constantly talking about business? And like, no. So that's a really great question. So the way things evolved, like in the beginning, we're in its infancy. Think projects weren't like we were overloaded with clients or projects because it was in the beginning. It was just really great to kind of get the business started and
Yeah.
settled and a base of clients and be able to manage like the cost of running a business in its
Yeah.
startup phase. From there, though, I think when we moved back to the United States around 2013, 14 timeframe, and we moved to Denver, a lot of our clients at that point, like all of our clients are based in the United States. Um, and I think we were in a phase where like that growing phase where it's like, okay, we're physically here. Our clients are also here. And so it was this, yes, like I think it was a really big grind that from there on. It was we were working. I remember pulling many all-nighters. And at that point, I was probably my 30s. I could still, in my 20s, it was easy. In my 30s, it started to get harder, like pulling
Yeah.
all-nighters, working and things. But we had a lot of work going on, just really focused. I remember being really focused, both of us, on growing the business and growing partnerships and having more clients and trying to, get more contracts and build revenue. And it was exhausting. Exhausting. And so
Yeah.
around 2016, and I don't know if this is a coincidence or just it wasn't intentional, I don't think, but my husband's been a fisherman, like he loves fishing since he was a little kid. Around 2016, he was like, "Let's go on a fishing trip," and we went to one with his parents. My first one, like ever. He always like fished with his dad and stuff, but he took me along with their family. to the Araguaia River in Brazil, in the state of Tocantins, and we fished for like huge red-tailed catfish.
Wow.
Oh, I got one on my wall there. Yep, this isn't, yeah.
Hey.
This is audio, not video, but yes, I have it posted on my TikTok channel, but like huge red-tailed catfish and like Jeremy Wade style, if you've ever watched his show. And I remember I caught my first one ever on that trip, and I was like hooked for life. I was like, this is such a cool hobby. And we were like in the middle of nowhere. And I remember there's no cell phone signal. Like at that time, nowadays at that place we went to, there is cell phone signal. So everywhere you, even if you're in like the Amazon jungle nowadays, I swear there's like cell phone, there's Starlink, there's, you can be connected in many scenarios. Not 100%, but a lot of times back in 2016, still like if you were in these places, there was no connection. Even if you were at the hotel or the lodge or wherever, really bad connection. So like it was almost that opportunity to if that forced opportunity to like disconnect and not work. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that associated it for me of like, wow, this is so cool. I can actually like mentally have some peace and immerse myself in something else. And so fishing just ended up being from that point on like something that we do yearly. We'd go on these trips with my in-laws who love fishing too. And him and I have since been planning trips here and there. We've gone like peacock bass fishing in the Amazon. We have another trip coming up end of the year. Um, and we also fish around here like daily, weekly here in Colorado. Just it's endless. Like it's an endless hobby. There's so many different species you can target um and it mixes that like creativity with detail, with technique, where it's something you can completely immerse yourself in. And so I've found a lot of mental peace and challenge in fishing, um, as a way, I think, subconsciously. So I'm so glad you asked this question because even I'm just realizing as I'm talking that maybe my love for fishing was a cry to disconnect a little bit from from being like only in the world of entrepreneurship. So it is a hobby that I ended up finding a lot of just balance in with, the lifestyle that we lead. Like it really helps to balance things out.
Yeah, yeah. I love to fish too. I'm not
Ah,
as
fun.
much of a fisher as you both are, but I would love to like someday get back
Let's
to
do it.
that
Let's go.
level. Yeah, it would be so fun. I used to go all the time with my dad when I was younger, and I
That's so
absolutely
fun.
loved it. So I'm so glad that you found that and that you talked about the disconnection piece because even for myself, like on the weekends, I do not let myself go on my email because it
Yeah,
was
me
all
neither.
consuming. Yeah, right. Like
Yeah, me
we have to
neither.
find some time to like really
Absolutely.
break away. And for anyone listening, like I know a lot of you all are probably at that phase of trying to find the balance and it can seem impossible. I don't know if you felt this way in the beginning. I was like,
Oh,
how could I
yes.
ever do that? That would be so irresponsible. Like I told myself I'm using like air quotes for the listeners. It's like actually it's so irresponsible to think that you're going to be on all the time and perform well, right? Like it's
Yeah, yeah, you need, and one of the things that I noticed after these longer trips, and actually like any, it doesn't need to be a trip, but like a time that you for a prolonged period of time where you disconnect like completely and you come back. It's like you're so much more productive. Your brain, you think quicker.
yeah,
Um, it's just really like you come back with a full battery,
yeah,
right? And when you're already drained and you're trying to figure out complex solutions to problems, it's like you're, pulling teeth. Like it's just a waste of energy. And so
yeah,
sometimes it's better to step away, recharge, and come back. Um,
yeah,
and on the topic of like boundaries, I think is what I
yeah,
call it, is having boundaries. That has been a journey in itself. And so when I first started the agency, I would work in my kitchen, I'd work in my bedroom, laptop, like at night. Don't do that.
yeah,
That's one of the things, I mean, for me, um, one of the big game changers that that I can think of is having a designated workspace.
Yeah.
For me, there might be people that are a little more like okay with the flexibility or even crave it. Um, and I crave it too sometimes. I crave like a change of setting. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll work on the patio or something like that just to or
Yeah.
downstairs in at the living room table because there's air conditioning. It's a little
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
100 degrees outside in my office here. I'm like higher up. It's really hot in here. So sometimes I'll like want to change my setting. But for the most part, mentally, I'm like, I work there. And when
Yeah.
I'm out of that room, then I can, because I work at home office,
Right.
right? So like blending work and life is a little bit dangerous, I think, for your brain, because it signals to your brain when you're working at the kitchen table that you can be working while you're eating or cooking or whatever. And there's no line, there's no distinction, there's nothing that shuts that off in your head so
Yeah.
you can relax. And so creating that physical boundary helps to create a mental boundary as well. For me, it's been
Yeah.
something that was like truly life changing. So when we bought our house, like we were like, okay, the third floor of our house, that's our offices. Like those are me,
Yeah.
our home offices. And then when we're done, it's like we can be in the rest of the house that's not work related, right? So that really worked well for us. And it was like intentionally planned that way so that we could have that line and not be in work mode all the time. Same thing with not answering emails, like not even looking at your email. I don't even open it. Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday, like, nope. Um, Having those lines for yourself. I know people don't take meetings on Fridays. So like one of the cool exercises I did was sat down and made an ideal schedule for myself as an entrepreneur. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like put in your time first, like for
Yeah.
you. Like, what are the things you like doing? So in the evening, sometimes we like to hop out a couple hours and fish. Um, on Fridays, I like to have a calmer Friday. I know a lot of people do too. And so I block off Fridays. I do not take meetings on Fridays. That was one of the things. So it's like in my ideal world, this is my ideal like CEO schedule. Um, I block off like I don't like early Monday morning meetings. I'm not in it yet. I haven't like put things in order.
Yeah.
And so I avoid block off time, you know, block out time on Monday mornings and like don't take meetings then. So I literally drew up my time according to my rhythm, like things that work for me. And then after I put in those times that are off the table, then I feel okay, when are the times where I am going to have working sessions where I'm at my best for business? When are my blocks of time where I'm open to take meetings? And I put those blocks of times in my Calendly calendar so that people can book with me only during those times. And so really like blocking out your schedule in a way that works for you intentionally and then opening it up to the public and your clients makes a world of difference because otherwise it's just like people can ask you for your time whenever.
Yes.
Yep,
And they will.
and they will. And if you do not have a plan, you do not have an organized plan ahead of time, you will more often than not bend over backwards and say, yes, okay, I can do that. I think I can make that work. Like and there are scenarios for that when it's an
Right.
emergency or urgent. Like I have taken some calls on Friday mornings that are like urgent,
Yeah.
but
Totally.
routine wise, like that's my ideal. And you need to know what that ideal is. Like you need to
Yeah.
define that for yourself. Otherwise, others will define it for you very quickly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree more. And I actually was with my in-laws, and we were talking to like some cousins on my husband's side, and one works with young entrepreneurs and young professionals. And she was saying, like, when you start to respect your time, just how you're explaining it and really getting clear on like how you want to respect your time, people almost feel that even more, right? Like even if you're out of the office and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I really needed her." And you're not
Yeah.
there. It's like, "Okay, but I will be back in 2 days, just 2 days. Everything can always wait," right? Like it's important to remind, I think, ourselves as business owners on that level, like you do want to be missed when you're out of office. And similarly with the day to day, once you respect it, then everybody else starts to respect it and they realize like what a hot commodity you are because you only have so much time, right? And that's the
Yeah.
reality of it. Like, especially for my brain, I'm like, I can only hold so much capacity for so many clients,
Oh, I
with
know.
my
Yeah.
team.
I
Yeah,
mean,
especially because you're client facing too.
it's
Yeah.
really true what they say. I mean, you need to really, what is it? The saying like secure your own oxygen mask before helping others or something.
Yeah.
Um, because if you're not operating at full capacity, it's really difficult for you to provide quality work
Yeah.
um, and results to others. And that's just not fair to anyone, right? It's not for you, it's
Yeah.
not for them. And so it really is in everyone's interest that you maintain a sustainable lifestyle, business schedule, all the above. Like it's in
Yeah.
your interest, it's also in your client base's interest, even though they might not see it that way. I mean, human psychology is really, really funny because it's true. The more that you are unavailable,
Yeah.
to an extent, the more people value your presence sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's almost backwards, but it is really true.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you don't want to like fall off the face of the map and just not ignore people.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what they're like, you're always connected. It's like, okay, no, I'll be back in 2 days, or, currently out of the office, but, I got your message and, it's that first thing, once I return. Acknowledgement is good,
Yeah.
but being easily and always available is not good.
Yes.
You get stepped on. You really do.
Yeah.
Treated like a commodity a lot of times.
Yes. Oh
Um,
my gosh, I couldn't agree more. And I want to make sure that we talk about this because we're already kind of touching on like partnerships and the types of clients, right? That we're looking to attract. Like the more that you're protecting your time, the more I found I was protecting my time. Excuse me. The better clients were aligned, right? Because they would be like, I even have a client now, I had a funeral last week. And I was
oh,
like, I can still work on Friday. And he
oh my
called me and he's
goodness.
like, Caitlin, you
Don't
need to
do
take the
that.
rest of the week. He's like, don't look at your email. Like, and he was
Oh,
telling me, like, I have somebody that I'm referring you to. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I be on my email, waiting for the referral because I didn't want to disappoint him. And he's like, please just take the rest of the week. But that's also, right, setting those boundaries that I didn't have for so many years. And oh my God,
yeah.
the
Same
amount of,
girl.
right,
Same.
bending over backwards the nights. So, how do you create your partnerships and how valuable have they been for you over the past 17 years of business?
Oh my gosh. So even just discovering the world of partnerships for business was a journey in itself. I'd say around the time frame, maybe about 5 years in, which is too long. Like if I could go back in time and be like, hey, start networking, like getting into business partnerships, white label your services, work, align yourselves with other marketing agencies that don't do creative, things like that. Like
Yeah.
start thinking about what services you can provide, not just directly to clients, but to other businesses that are out there that need your services for their clients. Um, that was just lost on me. Like I did not think of that strategy for the longest time when I should have. And also, like I said, networking, online networking, like in 2010, it wasn't that strong. It was more
Yeah.
like you would go to a networking event. You had to physically be at these places or meetups and things like that at that point in time. Now, there's a world of opportunities to form strategic partnerships and do business with others, just having met them online, much like you and I have met online, right? You never, so hopefully we'll go on a fishing trip in the future, but
I know. I hope so too.
but it has been such a opportunity opener to form some strategic partnerships in agencies that don't do exactly what we do, but they need our services and they want to provide those services to their clients. So it's an opportunity for them to also generate some revenue, uh, and for us. And so it's a really, really good relationship for everybody. It's in everyone's interest to form partnerships. And it's just been a game changer. Now, handling those sort of partnerships, it's almost like, you have another client because you have another client and then another like 10 clients or 20 clients, depending on how many clients that partner has that you are producing work for, at least as a creative agency. And so it like expands the amount of work, expands the amount of clients, and then you have a direct partnership that's like, okay, we've got a good relationship and you want to maintain that relationship. But it's another calendar you need to manage and another, communication channel you need to manage and boundaries you need to manage. Because, and I'd say I go back to it like the same principles apply. You need to know like your schedule. Like sit like the best exercise I ever did. Sit down Monday through Sunday, like block off the times for you first. What's like ideal in your mind? Like you don't take meetings Friday. I don't take meetings Monday morning. Here, my downtime is like after 4 p.m. I'm done, like
Yeah.
downtime, family time, hobby time, like whatever. And then you go back in and you fill in the working sessions, the times that you're open to take calls. And once you know that, you can much more confidently communicate that, share that, um, with your partners, without like having to invent excuses or, being inconsistent or bending over backwards to make them happy or attend to a need that's not urgent or something like that. And so you once you have that clarity, you can then enforce it a lot easier. You can say, nope, I got something during that time, but here's my schedule. If you want to grab a time the next couple days, grab it and book it, um, without having to explain yourself away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that
So,
can also be like so annoying to have to come up with an excuse versus just
yeah,
saying, this is when I'm available, especially with
yeah,
partners. I totally agree. If you're like white labeling our services with them or,
right. And every personality, like one of the things I've learned in working with so many clients and having strategic partnerships and things like that, and they're wonderful, and everyone is different. Every single human being has their own personality, and then if you work with different personalities, you have to kind of really quickly understand the best strategies to communicate with that personality. And that is like a soft skill that I think has developed over time,
yeah.
as an entrepreneur and being so client facing, just being able to have a conversation with someone and understand a lot of things about how you should communicate with that person. They're like going forward.
Yeah.
So, definitely something that develops over time, but I think having clarity on what you can do first, for yourself that feels good is the place to start for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my gosh, great advice. I love what you mentioned about personalities, and I feel like we could do like a
Oh
whole
my God, yeah.
episode, like team members
We
and like
sure could.
all of those topics. But this has been so amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to come on the show. Can you tell us how to stay in touch? Also, where we can check out your TikTok of
Oh,
fishing.
yes. So if there are any, fishing hobby lovers, fishermen out there that want to follow me on TikTok, it's Kristina.Celine. It's my handle on TikTok. And I do post like some of our fishing trips, fishing videos and adventures and things like that. So it's a fun, fun channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kristina Celine all together. And our website address, if you want to check out Designing Gig, our creative agency, is designinggig.com. And you can also email me directly at Kristina@designinggig.com. So I'll send you all the handles. You can put them in the description. Um, but yeah, I'd love to hear from you if you got a question or anything getting started on an entrepreneurial journey. I love this stuff and I love helping others just starting out too. So yeah, good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And for our multitasking listeners, I can connect you all directly with Kristina as well. If you DM me on IG, I will connect you or send you the links. And of course, all of the links will also be in the show notes below. So thanks so much for coming on. This was
Thank
so
you for
great.
having me. I love this. We have to do another one.
Yes, I would love that anytime.